Everyone, today I will be discussing about one of the most fascinating and underrated subject of the IB diploma program, which is Environmental Systems and Society, or ESS. These particular subjects combine all aspects from science, geography, and environmental ethics all in one. This subject might be your best choice to take if you are trying to apply for the major of environmental engineering in your college. In this video, I will be discussing about the overall course of ESS as well as how this particular subject stands out among all of the IB science subjects.
Now, ESS IB standard level syllabus focuses on three assessment components: Paper 1, Paper 2, and internal assessment. Paper 1 is a case study based paper worth 25% of your final grade. In this paper, you'll be given a real-world environmental scenario such as reading annual temperatures or even reading geographical areas such as mountains or even the world map. You will be asked to analyze it using the concepts and skills you've learned. This paper is only 1 hour long and it really tests your ability to apply knowledge to new situations. So practicing past case studies is essential. For paper 2, it weighs 50% of your final grade. This paper is 2 hours long and are divided into 2 sections. Section A has short answer questions based on core content, similar to paper 1, while section B requires you to choose 2 essays questions out of 4. This paper will test your depth of understanding and your ability to evaluate, analyze, and synthesize information. Lastly, the IA or internal assessment is a personal investigation that contributes 25% of your final mark. It's a hand-on project where you collect and analyze data related to an ESS topic of your choice, whether it's both primary or secondary data. You'll need to design a focused research question using scientific methods and reflect critically on your results. The IA is a great chance for you to explore an area that you're passionate about while demonstrating key skills like data interpretation and evaluation. To effectively ace your paper 1 and paper 2 section A, I will be giving tips about how to read counter maps effectively. So counter maps represents the shape and elevation of land using counter lines. Each line connects the point of equal elevation. What's the first thing that you need to know to check is the counter interval, which tells you how much elevation changes between each line. This is usually written in the map key. If the lines are very close together, this means that the slope is steep, while if the lines are far apart, this means that it's a gentle slope, such as the one being circled. The closed circles indicate a hill or mountain, and if there's a small tick on the mark inside, it's a depression or a basin. So from the visualization, it's like this. For paper 1, you might be asked to analyze elevation, identify the types of landforms, or comment on human-environment interactions like flood risk or land use based on the topography. In paper 2, you could use counter features to support essay points about ecosystems, soil erosions, or water flow. To dissect a counter map effectively, you must first identify high and low points based on how close each counter lines is, and note all the slopes and landform to effectively dissect each parts of the counter map to support your answer. and think about how different terrain affect water movement, human activity, or ecosystem structure. Another key component that you might want to master from EBSS paper 1 and 2 is learning how to read maps that shows continents and plate boundaries, especially focusing on divergent and convergent boundaries, which are usually asked in the question. So you want to start by locating the tectonic plates, which are large pieces of Earth's crust that move over the mantle. You'll often see the boundaries marked with symbols or color codes in the question booklet. Now first, divergent boundaries occurs when two tectonic plates move away from each other and a new crust forms as a magma rises. While most divergent boundaries are underwater, like the Mid-Atlantic Ridge, you can also see related tectonic activity on land, like in New Zealand. From this example, we can know that the country lies on the boundary between Pacific and Australian plates, and in the north, there's a divergent-like motion where the plates are pulling apart slightly. From this, we can see the gap of the divergent plate boundaries movement that shifts both of the part of New Zealand away from each other, causing volcanic activity and reef zones. This leads to features like geothermal fields and frequent earthquakes due to the shifting of plate boundaries towards away from each other. Now, convergent boundaries are where plate boundaries move towards each other, colliding and forming a new land. A great example is the South America, especially along the Andes Mountain. Here in this map, we can see that there are different land colliding together, forming the continent of South America. They are also famous for the Andes Mountain, which occurs between this line. The Andes Mountains occur due to tectonic movement that causes them to collide and form a new mountain, which creates a deep trench off the west coast and pushes up the Andes Mountain, one of the world's longest mountain range. It also causes frequent earthquakes and volcanic activity in countries like Chile and Peru. To analyze on a map, you first need to look for arrows that shows the plate boundaries movement. Then you might want to identify features like trenches, volcanoes, and reef zones, which are usually provided in a question booklet. And you need to understand how boundary type shapes the land and ecosystem to effectively answer the question.
That wraps up our discussion on the IB ESS syllabus. I hope this gives you a clear insight on how ESS helps us understand the complex relationship between humans and environment. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more IB content. And feel free to share your thoughts or question in the comments. I'd love to hear how you are finding EBSS journey. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.